Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to episode 24 of Bliss Tell. So I've decided to become less long-winded. So I'm going to change the format a little bit because I realized that, it needs to be shorter. My videos are too long. It's because I listened to a podcast on using video for authors this week, and it said like the ideal length of a video is between 3 and 5 minutes. And I said, what? Okay, so the only way to make this shorter is to make it less about me and more about you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip all the highlights of my week because, I post them on Facebook and everywhere all the time anyway, right? I'm just repeating myself and just talking about myself more. I should do less of that. So I'm just going to do questions. So I do, however, have to mention that, Far From the World We Know is out. Yay! So that's very exciting. It's getting some good reviews and it's slowly going up the rankings, which is how I wanted. I wanted to go slow, but, Ooh, sorry, too much coffee. I had I have a particular ranking in mind, so we're gonna have to see. I would like the book to hit that, to go all the way down there, maybe around Monday or Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. We'll see. So anyway, I'll keep you posted on that. But now I'm going to move on to the question part straight away, because isn't that the fun part anyway? So here we go. So the question is from Sue, and Sue's question is, how did you choose your pen name? A particular fondness for Harper Lee or just stabbing a pin in the phone book? Excellent question, Sue. Thank you for that. I can tell you it has absolutely nothing to do with Harper Lee. Of course, I know who Harper Lee is, but growing up in Belgium, we didn't have to read To Kill a Mockingbird in school. I read the book though, but I only read it like last year. It gave me nightmares for quite some time. I don't know, it's something about it. But no, it got nothing to do with Harper Lee. Actually, my first choice of pen name was Scarlet Bliss, and the reason why that did not end up being my pen name is because the domain name scarletbliss.com was taken. I said I cannot have a name that is taken on the interweb. So and in hindsight, I'm actually very happy that the name Scarlet Bliss was was already taken, because this was when I wanted to write erotica. So, and I think the name Scarlet Bliss, it sets a certain expectation, and I'm very glad that in the end it turned out to be Harper. I think where I got the name Harper is, I think I was reading a book at the time where one of the characters was named Harper, if I remember correctly. And I think because, I was Bliss, I was thinking, oh, what goes well with Bliss. So, then I came up with that, and I thought Harper and Bliss sounded well together, and then I don't know, there is no big philosophy behind it. I will say that the first two letters of Harper, H and A, are the same first two letters of my real name, so maybe subconsciously on some level I was thinking at least it sounds kind of the same. It doesn't, because my real name it cannot be pronounced by anyone who is not Dutch or perhaps German speaking. So I know this for a fact because I've tried to get people to pronounce it many times. Like people here in Hong Kong, nobody can pronounce my name, which is why I could never write under my real name. Right? Anyway, I hope I answered your first question, Sue. I have a second one from Sue, and the second question is, as you are leaving Hong Kong and moving to different locations for 2 to 3 months, does this mean you are have a laptop can write anywhere type of gal, or have you yet to discover that? I love how your question is very complete, Sue. Because I'm not someone who can write anywhere. I'm very set in my ways. Ask my wife. I like to have my dedicated spot. headphones on, door shut, nobody is allowed to come in. Well, I mean, there's only one other person in the room. My wife knows she should not come in when I'm writing, so that's going to be a challenge. But I've been doing some tests. Like last weekend, we went to stay in the city. I said, oh, I'm going to take my laptop and I'm going to try and write, as soon as I get up, because that's, when I need to do my writing as soon as I get up. I'm going to try and do some writing, in this new location. Well, this was at my friend's place, and it's very quiet there, so it wasn't a cafe or anything. But I tried, and it worked. But that is up until now my only successful try. So the idea is, of course, when we move around, we will have our own place, right, where I can find a spot to write. But I would like to, like maybe get out a little bit more and try to do some writing. Although it doesn't matter, when I'm writing, I don't need a pretty scenery or anything like that. I need I need as less distraction as possible. So but to answer your question, I have yet to discover if I'm that kind of gal. But like all the times that I've gone home to Belgium and stay with my family, or we usually stay at Caroline's mum's, and there is no dedicated. I mean, we have our bedroom, but I don't have a desk there or anything. So if I were to do any writing there, I would have to do it in the living room, and that is just impossible. I mean, I could do it if no one was home, but I can't kick my mother-in-law out of her own house, so I can write. So, but we're going to Belgium in 3 weeks, actually, less than 3 weeks. Oh, so much to do before then. And usually when we go home, I don't schedule any writing time because I know I'm not going to do it. This time though, for two reasons: because of my crazy challenge, and I need to just keep on going, and because I want to try, because I really think I should be able to write in other places. I need to write a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit every day. Like maybe 1,000 or 1,500 words a day, which I mean for me is like I sit down for an hour, and I write that. So I mean theoretically, I think I should be able to do it, but practically, I don't know yet. I'll see. I will have to get back to you on that. So, Sue, well, I wrote something down here. I said, in the end, the biggest distraction of all will always be the internet, right? So, maybe the only thing I need is to go to a place where there's no internet, and then I'll be able to write anyway. There's internet everywhere, though. That's the problem. So, thank you for the question, Sue. Let's move on. I'm going to try and do 4 questions. But the thing is, I don't know how long my video is because I have my screen covered for the reflection in my glasses, which is another tip that I picked up from this podcast I listened to. The other tip was to make your skin look better, wear makeup, but I'm not doing that. One has to draw the line somewhere. So anyway, next question from Nikki. Nikki, thanks again for another question. So the question is there anything else you wanted to do when you were a kid besides writing? Well, I wanted to be a boy for a while. I was always so pissed off when my cousins, my male cousins, they could go to the toilet standing up, and I always had to sit down. That really pissed me off. So why can't I be a boy? But aside from that, if there's something that I wanted to be, I cannot remember, because I think I basically always wanted to be a writer. I remember my sister and I we used to play office, pretending we worked in an office. But then I worked in an office for 10 years and it was awful. So the things we dream of as a kid are sometimes, are usually a bit, misinformed. So, but I guess if there was one thing that I've always wanted to be, or possess, it's I want to be Adele. I want to be able to sing like Adele. Oh my God, I cannot sing to save my life, and that is, there's nothing I can do about it. Although I might take Christina Aguilera's masterclass on singing, and it doesn't stop me from dreaming of getting a four chair turn on The Voice and then picking to be on Christina's team. Speaking of The Voice, I would like, and let me just check something on my computer. Last season, I don't know if any of you who watch this care one bit. I mean, when I talk about The Voice to my wife, she always says, "You know, I don't give a shit about this, right?" So, but last season I called the winner, right? I said Jordan Smith, and I called him after the blinds. I called the winner after the blinds this year as well. I said to my wife, who doesn't give a shit, but who else am I gonna say it to? I'm saying it to all of you. It's gonna be Alison. I think her last name is Porter. She's gonna win. I mean, if she doesn't win, then I'm gonna have to stop watching again. I will never stop watching. Anyway, I'm not on topic anymore. So yeah, I don't know. To answer your question, I can't remember ever wanting to be anything else than a writer, but yeah, and I am a writer now. So yay. Okay, next question from Nikki. Again, if you could pick a place to travel based on weather only, where would you go and why? Oh my God. I'm so glad we're leaving Hong Kong because the weather has been so bad. It's been raining like non-stop for 3 days now. And well, the humidity has arrived as well. It's getting hotter, so one more grueling hot and humid summer in Hong Kong and we're out of here. I'm very happy about that. Because of course last summer we weren't here. Last summer we were in Belgium for 3 months. So, I mean, Belgian summer is nothing to write home about either, but we were very lucky. Last summer in Belgium was actually very nice. So, I would go somewhere where it is sunny, not grey, and not too much rain, and, like a pleasant temperature of around between 20 and 25 degrees Celsius. That would be ideal. And when I think of that, I think about Southern California, for instance. I mean, that always seems like, weather-wise, a nice place to live. Like, I could live on Santa Monica Beach for sure, but I think the problem with living in LA for me is that it scares the hell out of me because I watch too much television. I watch all these crime shows and all these bad things that happen to people who live in LA, and I don't want to live in LA. But the weather is nice, but I might get killed by a serial killer. I don't know if it's worth the trade-off. So I don't know. It would need to be a climate like that. Although, like here in Hong Kong, we have seasons, but they're not like extremely pronounced. Not like in Belgium, In Belgium, you have a proper winter. Proper. I don't know. Everything is like just so like, I don't know, like winter in Belgium is basically, it's pretty miserable, and summer can be pretty miserable. But I think what I like is like, when it changes, like in the spring and in the fall, we don't really have that, although we do have spring and fall, and that's actually, those are actually the best seasons in Hong Kong, because the temperature is actually nice, you can walk around and not like step outside and be covered in sweat immediately, and like with my glasses, they always fog up when I go from air conditioning to the humidity outside. But of course the point of our upcoming nomadic lifestyle is to escape bad weather. So we plan to follow. I mean, you can never really predict the weather, but can have. We're not going to go to New York in winter, for instance. So New Zealand in February and March next year, that should be nice. And then we plan to go to Thailand, which will be hot, but I think it will be a different kind of heat than in Hong Kong. Plus, it'll still be like. But anyway, no, I know. Thailand is going to be hot, but the reason why we chose Thailand after New Zealand is because it's cheap, and New Zealand is expensive. Thailand is cheap, so we can't base our decision just on the weather. And then afterwards, we want to go to Europe. Summer in Europe is very nice. So anyway, I hope that answers your question. I have no idea. I've covered my screen, so I have no idea how long this video is. I can only hope I stayed below 20, but I actually want it to be below 15. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Thank you for watching. Have an excellent weekend. Thank you for buying and reading Far From the World We Know and giving me such nice comments about it. Send me questions. Have a great weekend. Peace out.